What's up, guys? How's it going? Today I'm doing a weird video because I just wanted to do something where I read, but I didn't want to really do a poem thing. So I'm going to do a video where I read the effects of cards from the Yu-Gi-Oh! TCG ban list, because why not? I don't really have much else to say. Well, let's go. Ancient Fairy Dragon. Once per turn, you can special summon one level 4 or lower monster from your hand. You cannot conduct your battle phase the turn you activate this effect. Once per turn, you can destroy as many field spells on the field as possible, and if you do, gain 1000 life points. Then you add one field spell from your deck to your hand. Neat. I don't know enough about Yu-Gi-Oh! To know if this is, like, how good that is, but if it's banned, it's gotta be pretty fucking good. So, yeah. Astograph Sorcerer. Pendulum Effect. During your main phase, you can destroy this card, and if you do, take one Stargazer Magician from your hand or deck, and either place it into your Pendulum Zone or special summon it. You can only use this effect of Astrograph Sorcerer once per turn. Card text, which is the effect you have if it's just like a monster instead of in your Pendulum Zone. If a card you control is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can special summon this card from your hand. Then you can choose one monster in your graveyard, extra deck, or that is banished and that was destroyed this turn, and add one monster with the same name from your deck to your hand. You can banish this card you control plus 4 monsters from your hand, field, and or graveyard, one each with Pendulum Dragon, XYZ Dragon, Synchro Dragon, and Fusion Dragon in their names. Special summon one Supreme King Z Arc from your extra deck. This is treated as a fusion summon. That's a lot of shit. Maybe they banned it because there's too much text. Blackwing Gofu the Vague Shadow. Cannot be normal summoned / set. Must first be special summoned from your hand while you control no monsters. When this card is special summoned from your hand, you can special summon 2 Vague Shadow tokens. Winged Beast type, Dark, level 1, attack 0, defense 0, but they cannot be tributed or be used as synchro material. You can banish this card and one or more face-up non-tuner monsters you control, then target one Blackwing synchro monster in your graveyard whose level equals the total levels the banished monsters had on the field. Special summon it, and if you do, it is treated as a tuner. Blaster, Dragon Ruler of Infernos. I think I've heard about this one actually. I do watch a channel that talks about really good Yu-Gi-Oh cards, so I might have heard of some of these. If this card is in your hand or graveyard, you can banish a total of 2 fire and or dragon type monsters from your hand and or graveyard except this card. Special summon this card. During your opponent's end phase, if this card was special summoned, return it to your hand. You can discard this card and 1 fire monster to the graveyard, then target 1 card on the field, destroy that target. If this card is banished, you can add 1 fire dragon type monster from your deck to your hand. You can only use 1 Blaster Dragon Ruler of Inferno's effect per turn, and only once that turn. Yeah, if I remember right, all of the Dragon Rulers are pretty strong. Cyber Jar has a flip effect. Flip, destroy all monsters on the field. Then both players reveal the top 5 cards from their decks. Then special summon all revealed level 4 or lower monsters in face-up attack position or face-down defense position. Also add any remaining cards to their hand. If either player has less than 5 cards in their deck, reveal as many as possible. Interesting. Seems good for a chump deck. Or a wimp deck, whatever you call it. Dandelion. If this card is sent to the graveyard, special summon 2 fluff tokens, plant type, wind, level 1, attack 0, defense 0, in defense position. These tokens cannot be tributed for a tribute summon during the turn they are special summoned. Danglong, first of the Yangzing. If this card is special summoned, you can add 1 Yangzing card from your deck to your hand. Once per turn, you can send 1 worm-type monster from your deck to the graveyard. This card's level becomes the sent monsters. If this face-up card leaves the field, you can special summon 1 Yangzing monster from your deck. You can only special summon Danglong, first of the Yangzings, once per turn. I kind of like this one. Kind of like a dragon thingy. Jin, Releaser of Rituals. I've heard about this one too, actually. When you ritual summon a monster, you can banish this card from your graveyard as one of the monsters required for the ritual summon. If a player ritual summons using this card, the other player cannot special summon while that ritual summoned monster is face up on the field. In case you're wondering why I'm doing this, I just thought it would be like a fun thing. Like, just a good video of, like, I don't know. It just seemed like the kind of thing that would be easy to fall asleep to, just somebody reading off a bunch of pointless information. Double Iris Magician. I've always liked the spellcasters. Once per turn, you can add 1 dark spellcaster type monster you control. Oh, you can target 1 dark spellcaster type monster you control. Apply this effect to it, then destroy this card. Once applied, double any battle damage. Excuse me. Double any battle damage that monster inflicts to your opponent this turn if it battles an opponent's monster. Card text. This card is always treated as a Pendulum Dragon card. If this card is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can add 1 Pendulum Graph card from your deck to your hand. Eclipse Wyern. If this card is sent to the graveyard, banish 1 level 7 or higher light or dark dragon type monster from your deck. If this card is banished from your graveyard, you can add the monster banished by this card's effect to your hand. Elder Entity Norden. When this card is special summoned, you can target 1 level 4 or lower monster in your graveyard, special summon it, but its effects are negated. Also banish it when this card leaves the field. Fairy Tale Snow. It was just one of those hand traps. If this card is normal or special summoned, you can target 1 face-up monster your opponent controls, change it to face-down defense position. If this card is in your graveyard, quick effect, you can banish 7 other cards from your hand, field, and or graveyard, special summon this card. Never mind, it's not. But that does seem really good. Fiber Jar. Flip. Each player shuffles all cards from their hand, field, and graveyard into their deck, then draws 5 cards. Firewall Dragon. Once while face up on the field, quick effect, you can target monsters on the field and or graveyard up to the number of monsters co-linked to this card. Return them to the hand. If a monster this card points to is destroyed by battle or sent to the graveyard, you can special summon one monster from your hand. Fishborg Blaster. If you control a face-up level 3 or lower water monster, you can discard one card, special summon this card from your graveyard. If this card is used as a synchro material monster, all other synchro material monsters must be water. Grinder Golem. Cannot be normal summoned or set. Must first be special summoned from your hand to your opponent's side of the field by special summoning 2 grinder tokens. Fiend type, dark, level 1, attack 0, defense 0, in face-up attack position on your side of the field. If you special summon this monster, you cannot normal summon or set a monster during the same turn. Guard Dragon, Agar Pain, how you pronounce that, I don't care. You cannot special summon monsters except dragon monsters. During your main phase, you can special summon one dragon monster from your extra deck to an extra monster zone or main monster zone you can summon to that 2 or more link monsters point to. You can only use this effect of Guard Dragon or Agar Pain once per turn. You can only special summon Guard Dragon, Agar Pain once per turn. Nightmare Goblin. If this card is link summoned during your turn, you can discard one card. If this card was co-linked when this effect was activated, you can draw one card. Also, during your main phase this turn, you can normal summon one monster from your hand to your zone this card points to. In addition to your normal summons / set, you can only apply this effect of Nightmare Goblin once per turn, and neither player can target co-linked monsters you control with card effects. Nightmare Mermaid. One Nightmare monster except Nightmare Mermaid. What? If this card is link summoned, you can discard one card, special summon one Nightmare monster from your deck. Then, if this card was co-linked when this effect was activated, you can draw one card. You can only use this effect of Nightmare Mermaid once per turn. Monsters on the field lose 1000 attack and defense unless they are co-linked. Lavalval Chain. Once per turn, you can attach one Exceeds material from this card to activate one of these effects. Send one card from your deck to the graveyard, or choose one monster from your deck and place it on top of your deck. Neat. A Level Leader. I remember this guy. If this card is in your graveyard, you can target one level 5 or higher monster you control, reduce its level by 1, and if you do, special summon this card. This face-up card on the field cannot be tributed except for a tribute summon. X-Saber Invoker. Once per turn, you can detach one material from this card, special summon one level 4 Earth Warrior or Beast Warrior monster from your deck in defense position, but destroy it during the end phase. Magical Scientist. Oh, I've seen this one. Pay 1000 life points to special summon one level 6 or lower fusion monster from your extra deck in face of attack or defense position. That fusion monster cannot attack your opponent's life points directly and is returned to your extra deck at the end of the turn. Magispector Unicorn Keyring. During either player's turn, you can target one pendulum monster in your monster zone and one monster your opponent controls. Return them to the hand. You can only use this effect of Magispector Unicorn Keyring once per turn. Cannot be targeted or destroyed by your opponent's card effects. Oh wow, that last part makes it way better. It's also a pendulum monster without a pendulum effect, apparently. I don't know how that works. Guess it was already good enough. Makyura the Destructor. During the turn this card was sent to the graveyard, you can activate trap cards from your hand. Oh wow. Nice. Masterpiece, the true Draco Slaying King. To tribute summon this card face up, you can tribute continuous spell / trap cards you control, as well as monsters, unaffected by the effects of cards with the same card type, monster, spell, and or trap, as the original card type of the cards tributed for its tribute summon. Once per turn, during either player's turn, if you control this tribute summoned monster, you can banish one continuous spell or trap card from your graveyard, then target one other card on the field. Destroy it. That's really fucking good. Holy shit. Holy heck, guys. Holy cannoli, Batman. Max C. Seen this one. During either player's turn, you can send this card from your hand to the graveyard. This turn, each time your opponent special summons a monster, immediately draw one card. You can only use one Max C per turn. Mind Master. You can pay 800 life points and tribute one psychic type monster, except Mind Master, to special summon one level 4 or lower psychic type monster from your deck in face-up attack position. Morphing Jar number 2. Remember this guy. Flip. Shuffle all monsters on the field into the deck. Then, each player excavates cards from the top of their deck until they excavate the same number of monsters they shuffled into their main deck. Special summon all excavated level 4 or lower monsters in face-down defense position. Also send the remaining cards to the graveyard. Number 16, Shockmaster. Once per turn, you can detach one Exceeds material from this card to declare a card type, monster, spell, or trap. That type of card, if spell or trap, cannot be activated, or, if monster, cannot activate its effects until the end of your opponent's next turn. Nice. Number 42, Galaxy Tomahawk. Once per turn, you can detach 2 Exceeds materials from this card. Special summon as many Battle Eagle tokens, machine type, wind, level 6, attack 2000, defense 0, as possible. Destroy them during the end phase of this turn. Also, your opponent takes no further battle damage this turn. That's really good. Heroic Champion Rangam Mermaid, whatever, number 86. Once per turn, during your opponent's end phase, detach one material from this card. This card gains effects based on the number of materials attached to it. 1 cannot be destroyed by battle. 1 or more cannot be destroyed by battle. 2 or more gains 1500 attack and defense. 3 or more, unaffected by other cards' effects. 4 or more, your opponent cannot normal or special summon monsters. 5, once per turn, you can destroy all cards your opponent controls. Number 95, Galaxy Eyes Dark Matter Dragon. You can also Exceed summon this card by using a Galaxy Eyes Exceeds monster you control as the Exceeds material. Exceeds materials attached to that monster also become Exceeds materials on this card. Cannot be used as an Exceeds material for an Exceeds summon. When this card is Exceeds summoned, you can send 3 Dragon-type monsters with different names from your deck to the graveyard. Your opponent banishes 3 monsters from their deck. You can detach 1 Exceed material from this card. This card can make up to 2 attacks on monsters during each battle phase this turn. Perfamage Plushfire. Pendulum Effect. If a Perfamage monster you control is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can special summon this card from your Pendulum zone, then take 500 damage. You can only use this effect of Perfamage Plushfire once per turn. Card text. If this card on the field is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can special summon 1 Perfamage monster from your hand or deck, except Perfamage Plushfire. Performapal Monkey Board. Pendulum Effect. Oh, Monkey Board. Unless you have a Performapal card in your other Pendulum zone, this card's Pendulum Scale becomes 4. During your main phase, if this card was activated this turn, you can add 1 level 4 or lower Performapal monster from your deck to your hand. Yawn. You can only use this effect to Performapal Monkey Board once per turn. Card text. You can discard this card. Reveal one Performapal or Odd Eyes monster in your hand, and if you do, reduce the levels of monsters in your hand with that name by 1 for the rest of this turn, even after they are summoned or set. Performapal Skullcrabat Joker. Pendulum Effect. You cannot Pendulum summon monsters except Performapal monsters, Magician Pendulum monsters, and Odd Eyes monsters. This effect cannot be negated. Card text. When this card is normal summoned, you can add 1 Performapal monster, Magician Pendulum monster, or Odd Eyes monster from your deck to your hand, except Performapal Skullcrabat Joker. Wow, that's really good. Phoenician Cluster Amaryllis. This card cannot be special summoned except with its own effect or with Phoenician Seed. If this card attacks, it is destroyed after damage calculation. If this card you control is destroyed and sent to the graveyard, inflict 800 damage to your opponent. During your end phase, you can remove from play 1 plant-type monster from your graveyard to special summon this card from your graveyard in defense position. Redox, Dragon Ruler of Boulders. Another Dragon Ruler. If this card is in your hand or graveyard, you can banish a total of 2 Earth and or Dragon-type monsters from your hand and or graveyard except this card. Special summon this card during your opponent's end phase. If this card was special summoned, return it to the hand. You can discard this card and 1 Earth monster to the graveyard, then target 1 monster in your graveyard. Special summon that target. If this card is banished, you can add 1 Earth Dragon-type monster from your deck to your hand. You can only use 1 Redox Dragon Ruler Boulders effect per turn, and only once that turn. Samsara Lotus. During your end phase, if you control no spell or trap cards, you can special summon this card from your graveyard in face-up attack position. This card's controller takes 1000 damage during each of their standby phases. Substitute. You contribute one monster to special summon one frog monster from your deck except Frog the Jam. Frog monsters except Frog the Jam cannot be destroyed by battle. Summon Sorceress, one of my favorite cards. If this card is link summoned, you can special summon one monster from your hand in defense position to your opponent's zone this card points to. Special summon one monster from your deck in defense position with the same type as that monster to a zone this card points to, but negate its effects. You can only use this effect of Summon Sorceress once per turn. Supreme King, Dragon Starving Venom. What an edgy name. Must be either fusion summoned or special summoned by tributing the above cards, aka 2 dark pendulum monsters. Once per turn, you can target one other monster on the field or in the graveyard. Until the end phase, this card's name becomes that monster's original name, and replace this effect with that monster's original effects. Also, for the rest of this turn, if your monster attacks a defense position monster, inflict piercing battle damage to your opponent. Tellar Knight, Ptolemaeus. Once per chain, during either player's turn, you can detach 3 Exceeds materials from this card. Special summon from your extra deck one Exceeds monster that is 1 rank higher than this card, except a number monster, by using this face-up card you control as the Exceeds material. This is treated as an Exceeds summon. Exceeds materials attached to this card also become Exceeds materials on the summon monster. You can detach 7 Exceeds materials from this card. Skip your opponent's turn. During either player's end phase, you can attach 1 Stellar Knight card from your extra deck to this card as a face-up Exceeds material. Nice. The Phantom Knights of Rusty Bardiche, I guess. During your main phase, you can send 1 the Phantom Knights monster from your deck to the graveyard. Then set 1 Phantom Knight spell or trap directly from your deck to your spell and trap zone. If a Dark Exceeds monster is special summoned to a zone this card points to, while this monster is on the field, except during the damage step, you can target 1 card on the field, destroy it. You can only use each effect of the Phantom Knights of Rusty Bardiche once per turn, cannot be used as link material. The Tyrant Neptune cannot be special summoned. You can tribute summon this card by tributing 1 monster. This card gains the total original attack and defense of the monsters tributed for its tribute summon. When this card is tribute summoned, target 1 effect monster in the graveyard that was tributed for the tribute summon. This card's name becomes that target's name, and this card gains that target's effects. Title, Dragon Ruler of Waterfalls. If this card is in your hand or graveyard, you can banish a total of 2 water and or dragon type monsters from your hand and or graveyard, except this card. Special summon this card. During your opponent's end phase, if this card was special summoned, return it to the hand. You can discard this card and one water monster to the graveyard. Send one monster from your deck to the graveyard. If this card is banished, you can add one water dragon type monster from your deck to your hand. You can only use one Untitled Dragon Ruler of Waterfalls effect per turn and only once that turn. Topologic Lavalval Dragon. If another monster is special summoned to a zone a link monster points to, while this monster is on the field, discard one or two random cards, then your opponent discards the same number. During your draw phase, if this card is extra linked and your opponent has at least one card in their hand, you can make your opponent discard one or two cards, whichever is higher. Then, if they have no more cards in their hand, inflict 3,000 damage to them. You can only use one Topologic Lavalval Dragon effect per turn and only once that turn. Tribe Infecting Virus. Discard one card from your hand and declare one type of monster. Destroy all face-up monsters of the declared type on the field. True King, Lithosagem, the Disaster. If this card is in your hand, you can destroy two other monsters in your hand and or face up on your field, including an earth monster, and if you do, special summon this card, and if you do that, and both destroyed monsters were earth, you can also look at your opponent's extra deck and banish up to 3 monsters from it with different names. If this card is destroyed by card effect, you can special summon one non-earth worm type monster from your graveyard. You can only use each effect of True King Lithosagem, the Disaster, once per turn. Victory Dragon. This card cannot be special summoned. To tribute summon this card, you must tribute 3 dragon-type monsters. If this card attacks your opponent directly and reduces their life points to 0, you win the match. What? Wouldn't you automatically win? This has to be like a counter card to something else. That like made it so you didn't lose if your life points at 0. Wind Up Carrier Zenmaity. Once per turn, you can detach one Exceeds material from this card. Special summon one Wind Up monster from your hand or deck. When a face-up Wind Up monster on the field is destroyed and sent to your graveyard, except during the damage step, you can detach one Exceeds material from this card to target that monster. Return that target to the hand. Yatagarasu. This card cannot be special summoned. This card returns to its owner's hand during the end phase of the turn it is normal summoned or flipped face up. When this card inflicts battle damage to your opponent, they skip their next draw phase. Zodiac Broadwool. Once per turn, you can also Exceed summon Zodiac Broadwool by using one Zodiac monster you control with a different name as Exceeds material. If you used an Exceeds material If you used any Exceeds material, If you used any Xyz monster, any Xyz materials attached to it also become Xyz materials on this card. This card gains attack and defense equal to the attack and defense of all Zodiac monsters attached to it as materials. Once per turn, you can detach one Xyz material from this card. Add one Beast Warrior type monster that can be special summoned / set from your deck to your hand. No, click the wrong thing. Zodiac Trident. Once per turn, you can also exceed summon a Zodiac Trident by using one Zodiac monster you control with a different name as Exceeds material. If you used an Exceeds monster, any Exceeds materials attached to it also become Exceeds material on this card. This card gains attack and defense equal to the attack and defense of all Zodiac monsters attached to it as materials. Once per turn during either player's turn, you can detach one Exceeds material from this card, then target one face-up card on the field. Destroy it. You know, I was going to do all the banned cards, but I think I'm just going to stop there after the fucking monsters, because this was a bit longer than I thought. I'm going to give a shout out to all the spells and traps that I recognize by name, though. Change of Heart, Cold Wave, Graceful Charity, Heavy Storm, Pot of Greed, classic. What does Pot of Greed do? The eternal question. Yeah, that's it. Oh, and return from the different dimension. Anyway, cool. That was something, I guess. Hope you guys liked it. If this was enjoyable, I guess let me know. I can read more stuff. I might do one where instead of reading effects, I find the cards that don't have effects, because you know they have like the little lore thing about them at the bottom, and I've always found those really interesting as a kid. So maybe I'll do a video on that, and I'll just like pull up a list of like 50 cards of normal type cards. Anyway, whatever. So yeah, I hope you're having a good day or a good night or whatever it is for you, and I will see you in the next video. Mwah.